everyone, my name is Roberta and this is Break the Jet Show. Like we usually do, we do this every week. We bring interesting startups and startup founders to tell you the story behind their startups and how their startups can help you. And usually we bring startups that are really changing the way we do things. Before, if you need to have any medical advice, you need to have a doctor friend or maybe visit an hospital to know some very little things you should have known. But right now, Kangpe.com is here, and it's a startup. You could just go in, get medical advice, diet, and everything about health. Anyway, I'm not too much of a health person, so I'm not going to be able to describe it. So I'm going to lead you to allow Mr. Femi Kuti, the founder of Kangpe.com, to tell you all the story. So welcome, Mr. Femi.
Thank you very much.
Nice having you on the show.
It's nice to be here.
So what's Kangpe all about?
Yeah, so Kangpe itself is a mobile app that allows people to ask questions from real-life doctors.
Okay.
And you get answers very, very quickly, typically within about 5 minutes or less.
Is it on iOS?
So presently we are on Android alone
only?
for now, yes.
Okay.
But very soon will be available on iOS
and
other platforms.
Android.
and other platforms.
So I can't do it on the web, like on my desktop?
No, we don't. So we don't have a web variety for now, for some technical reasons. It's easier for us to deploy that on an app environment.
Okay. So where do you get these doctors from? Can any doctor just come sign in?
Yeah, so like any doctor can, there's a separate app for doctors. So any doctors can, download that app and then sign up. So when you sign up as a doctor, you provide us with your credentials, tell us about yourself, where you work, and then we have a team that does the investigation about that, just to make sure that the person is in fact a real doctor.
Okay.
And then when we confirm that, we can then give the doctor access to be able to answer questions. So it's not like anybody can pose to be a doctor to come on board. We check the credentials of every single person who claims to be a doctor before we allow them to answer questions. Okay.
So does Kangpe cover all issues? Like maybe I know there are some doctors that do maybe surgery related and this. I don't know how you guys call it.
So yeah, Kangpe covers pretty much any basic health issue that you might have. We have generalists, so that's GPs. We also have specialists. We have ear doctors. We have surgeons. We have orthopedic surgeons. We have gynecologists. Pretty much any type of doctor that there's a specialty for in Nigeria, we have doctors like that on the platform. Yeah.
So how many doctors do you guys have?
So right now we have over 200 doctors.
200 doctors? Oh my
200
God.
plus doctors.
Closing down
on the platform. We're not. I mean, we're not a replacement for a hospital.
We hear that on your side.
We're very adamant about letting people know that we're not a replacement for the hospital, but rather, I think the whole idea of Kangpe was born because I'm a doctor myself, and I always notice that anytime I go.
Sorry, I didn't put doctor.
No, it's fine.
I have to do introduction again.
There's no need. I usually prefer people not to introduce me as a doctor. So anytime I go for like events or something, I'm hanging out, people just hear that I'm a doctor. First thing you hear is like, oh, my back is aching, it's been aching me like that. So it was clear that people always had issues that they wanted to discuss with, but they were not big enough for them to go to the hospital for or spend their time to go to the hospital.
Time and everything.
Exactly. So, but there was no avenue for them to be able to ask those questions in a very simple, straightforward way. So that's what Kangpe allows people to do.
Yeah.
Basically. So we're not a replacement for the hospital because there's no how. There are going to be some things that clearly needs a doctor for you to sit down, examine you and have a conversation with you about. But there are actually a huge number of things that, all you just need is some basic advice or some basic information on what next to do.
Wow. Honestly, I really like this much because I'm just one of the person that hardly ever go to hospital. My medical stuff, whatever, I don't even visit hospital. Sometimes I usually go online doing stuff.
Okay.
I remember when my sister was having some she wasn't pregnant, she wasn't carrying any baby, like a kind of breast milk and everything. I went all panicking and jumping over the fence that she's going to die, she's going to
So exactly, I mean that's exactly what our platform is for.
If I ask someone to say, please, this is the situation, what could be the issue, and the person would tell me.
Exactly.
Honestly, there is nothing as that.
Exactly.
So I think it's really something that Nigerians need.
Thank you.
So let's go pay some bills.
Hello, I want to talk to you about our partner, Wistia.com. Wistia is a professional video hosting solutions with amazing viewers analytics, HD video delivery, and marketing tools to help understand your visitors. Wistia works perfectly well on all devices. Why don't you visit wistia.com today?
So let's go back to Kangpe.com. Kangpe.com, not .ng.
Yeah.
How many people do you have registered now that use the site?
We've been up for slightly over 2 months. Right now we have close to 1,000 users who come in to ask questions.
Wow.
And about 40% of people come back again and again to ask more and more questions.
Okay.
We're not sure whether they're asking on other people's behalf, so it's fine. So long as people are getting answers, that's fine. Yeah. So we're growing pretty quickly.
Wow. So do you have because if I have an issue and I discuss it with your doctor, do you have a place where, this doctor says this is what is wrong with me?
Yeah.
Instead of going to bother my doctors to say, this is what a doctor somewhere said, why can't I just contact the doctor there and then maybe diagnosis or maybe drugs and follow up?
It's interesting. It's interesting that you mentioned that. So initially when we first started, we gave the doctors the opportunity to put their phone numbers on there so people could contact. And initially we didn't think that many people were going to use that opportunity, but amazingly a huge number of people began to use that opportunity because the initial conversation had generated sort of like a relationship with that doctor, and then they wanted to take that further. On the flip side though, there were a lot of doctors who were now like, I'm getting too many calls, like, can you just turn it off? So they turned it off. So basically we had to listen to the doctors as well. So we basically turned that feature off for now. But what we're going to do very soon, we're launching a feature that allows you to book an appointment with that doctor and then go to their hospital to see them. So the whole point why you're calling them is so you can get, arranged to meet that doctor and get like a proper examination. So we're gonna put in a feature that allows that to be done in a way that's useful for the users, but at the same time also convenient for the doctor as well.
Exactly. Honestly, bring that up. When are we expecting that? Because
we're working on that very, very quickly. We should have that available in the next month or so.
Okay. Yeah. So because one of the issues I usually have with startups is that they're always in Lagos. So I think yours should cover the whole of Nigeria.
Yeah, I mean, Kangpe is it's because it's mobile based, it can cover pretty much anywhere in Nigeria. We have people who use it in Ife, we have people who use it up north, we have people who use it in Lagos. So it's not restricted to any single location. Even the doctors that we have doctors from UCH in Ibadan, we have doctors from Ife, we have doctors from Lagos, we even have a doctor, I think a couple of doctors from Kano.
Okay.
Kano. So it's pretty very distributed, very spread out.
So I think that is really cool because if I was at Abuja or Kano, for example, and I want to book an appointment with a physical doctor, so you could now line me up with the doctors in that area.
Exactly. So that's part of the reason why we needed to make it app-based, because that allows us to know like locations. It's very difficult if you're doing that on a web-based system. Wow. It's possible, but it's a bit more technically challenging. But when it's web-based, when it's app-based, we can sort of figure out where you're looking and then tie you in with people, with doctors in that location.
Wow, internet is becoming not just the place we go for gossip, not just the place we go to browse, see what's going on. It's now becoming a way of life.
Exactly.
Places that we use to solve real life problems, and I'm really excited about that.
Thank you.
So, do you guys have like a team that sits down on Kangpe and just work on it to check stuff, inquiries, and other things?
Yeah, when you say to check inquiries,
do you have a team that works on this Kangpe?
Yeah, so we have a team right now, our team is basically developers and just marketing, more or less, to try and get doctors on board. That's what our team is made up of. We don't go in to check the questions because we can't have access to the questions. It's people's confidential information, so we don't know. But what we do is we set up the system in such a way that for each doctor it sort of throws up sample questions of what they've been answering, so we can double check that they're not doing stuff like prescribing medication or violating regulatory rules. That on top of that too, Kangpe is confidential. We don't know who is asking the questions because we don't request for your name. We request for some basic demographic information that allows the doctor to be able to give you answers. So, for example, we need to know how old the person is. So, a particular condition from somebody who's 25 could have a different implication from somebody. The same condition from somebody who's 25 could have a different implication from somebody who's like 40, 45. So, we need this kind of information. But identifying information like who this person is, where they're located, we don't have that. We only pull up questions just to survey and check the system that people are not violating, the system. So it's health. So we're very, very particular about the way things are handled. We're very particular about the fact that we're following regulations. And we're very particular about the fact that people's information is confidential and safe.
Okay. Wow, this is really cool. Maybe I saw Kangpe, I was like, what's this? I just went to go check it and I was like, wow, I need to bring this guy to come and talk more about it on the show. So I hope you guys make good use, but you're not going to do it with your system. You just have to do it with your Android for now. Yeah. Don't worry.
So it's almost like having a doctor in your pocket.
In your pocket, yeah. So don't worry, when the iOS comes up, I'm going to really tell you on the show. If no matter what startup I'm talking about, I'm going to announce that the iOS is ready because it's something I really want everybody to go and use. Don't just, self-medication in Nigeria is so paramount. Yeah. So I know you don't have time to go to the hospital to go and check and every stuff. So you can go to Kangpe and just ask instead of just taking order your gate man, your friend prescription. I mean, gate man will give prescription. So they have cough here. My guys here, they're like, Madam, have you taken?
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing that we're really working. That's another big thing that Kangpe is helping to work against.
Yeah.
That is quack doctors. There are actually a good number of them, but because we have the ability to actually check the credentials of the doctors, we know that where you're getting the information from is from a real person.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Is there anything you wish I asked you that I've not asked?
No, nothing. I think you pretty much asked everything that we could have asked.
Okay, so thank you very much for coming to the show.
Thank you very much for having me, Roberta.
All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. I made it short so you don't waste your data so much. Thanks for always watching. If you're watching on our YouTube channel, please kindly subscribe. And if you're watching on our web TV, kindly subscribe to our email. If you have any inquiries or you want to be on the show, you have a startup and you want to be on the show, send me an email at info@2tv.net. Thanks very much. Until next week, when I will bring another interesting startup to your screen. Stay out of trouble. Keep watching 2TV. Bye.